Hi, welcome to Tony's Right. I'm here with just a quick video. So, I didn't do any videos this past week. So, starting in November, early November, I'm doing these videos. So, this one is on feedback and learning to kind of let go. So, I say this because it took me several weeks into the semester to let go. And it was kind of weird because I had a little bit of resistance in getting feedback, kind of showing up in a way, communicating with the professor and things like that. And I kind of felt a little bit discouraged early on in the semester just because I just felt like I wasn't effectively showing up and doing what I needed to do, right? And it seemed like it kind of reflected in the dynamics that I was having when it came to feedback. So I was kind of like, oh, man, like kind of down about that. But what ended up happening was just a little bit of personal journeying that I had to do. When you're getting feedback in your writing courses, understand that it's not from a place of hatred. There would be very rarely hatred unless that, if that teacher is a particularly hateful, spiteful kind of person. But I often find that professors and stuff like this are not. There's some with nasty reputations, but generally, if you're writing, you're getting critiques, you're getting workshopped, you're getting feedback, it's not hateful. It's not vindictive. It's not trying to put you down. It's making sure that your work is going to show up as best as possible. At the end of the day, the work is what we're critiquing, not you, your ability to write, your ability to edit yourself, your background, the poem or the story or whatever you're writing. It's not a personal critique, and we got to say that, on you. It's not really a personal critique on your writing. It's a critique on your writing, but it's not a personal thing where people are going to get overly vindictive and angry about what you wrote, or really just vindictive and hate-filled and harsh and ultra critical. And it's like, no, it's just feedback. That's all it is. It's just feedback, and you can choose to go forward with it or not. And you can choose to state your piece as to why or why not. I think that what happened to me was that I had to allow myself to feel safe enough to be critiqued without being very sensitive about it. And not that I felt ultra personal, but it did seem like there was a little bit of tension there. And I had to personally kind of work through that, which was my own personal perfectionism, my own personal questioning of whether or not I deserve to be here. Should I be here? Is this what I need to be doing with my life? Things like that. And kind of allowing myself to write poetry also that was a lot more personal and a lot more open, because the first few poems I did were not very open, and they were very much what I thought a poet should write, in a very guarded way, in a very distant kind of way. And what I found was that the more opened up, the more my poetry opened up as a result also. And so this video is to just encourage you, if you're having some struggles with feedbacks with people, that it's about your work, not you personally. And you can choose to do with the feedback what you will. Some of the stuff you may very well enjoy the feedback and enjoy employing what their feedback was in your writing, using it to target the little weaknesses that they were seeing, and kind of maybe agree that some of the stuff was kind of weak. Excuse me. So what I personally want to see with my own work is that I am open enough to write poems that I'm interested in, but open enough to receive the feedback as well. And not to be overly harsh or critical. Like when I go through and do feedback with the people in my like cohort, my class, it's not really vindictive. There's no vindictiveness about it. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm reading it. I feel like this is a section that could be worked on. I'm skipping over this section because it doesn't seem like it goes. And then I'll write my stuff and I'll go back and I'll read it again, do a little bit more, go back, read it again, 2 or 3 times. But other than that, I'm not personally deep diving into like, I gotta stick it to this person or something like that. And that's another thing. I feel like people are very personable in writing places. Some people who are used to like very competitive spaces bring that sort of kind of energy to writing programs, like ultra competitive and things like that. And maybe you have to be in an ultra competitive school, I guess. But for the most part, most writers that I've met are pretty like laid back, but they are serious about their work. They're serious about doing their work. And, they can put to the side like these issues that they're having, personal, and just listen to the feedback. Now, sometimes it don't work, but that's more personal issues than anything else. So I would be encouraged to know that it's not personally about you. It's about making sure your work is as functional and properly formatted and as great as possible, so that if you want to go send it off for submission, if you want to go publish it, you can do that, and you can rest assured that it has gone through a process where people have responded to your work, given feedback on your work, you've responded to your work, you've been given time to think about it, and you can put the best possible story, poem, screenplay, memoir, autobiography out, biographical, whatever, out there. You just want to make sure you're doing the best work. And the best work comes from listening to other people and listening to yourself and not being so wrapped up in it has to stay the same way. That's another thing. You started with one poem, through feedback workshops, mental processing, your own kind of journey. It could end up being something entirely different. Allowing feedback allows for that room of it to grow. It allows for it to grow. So make sure you're allowing yourself to grow and you're not so stuck and you're not so rigid in how your poetry should end up as a final result. It's a journey. Your story as a final result. It's a journey. Your screenplay as a final result. That resistance often is very limiting. So if you feel any sort of resistance, I would encourage you to work through that and encourage you to kind of loosen the grip, because really that's what the feedback is kind of meant to break down, like that resistance. And you have to feel safe enough. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.